unthinkable has happened. Ty Borden, the man everyone thought was gone forever, is back. His return to Heartland doesn't just stir emotions, it shakes the very foundation of Amy's life. For years, she carried his memory like a wound that never healed, raising their daughter alone while trying to rebuild her broken world. But now, with Ty suddenly standing before her, everything Amy thought she knew is torn apart. Is this a dream come true, or the beginning of a new storm that could shatter her heart all over again? Amy Fleming's life has been defined by resilience. After Ty's sudden departure, she learned to survive with nothing but his memory and the love she carried for him. Every day was a balancing act, raising Lindy, managing the ranch, and protecting the fragile strength she had built. Yet deep inside, Amy was never truly free from the ache of his absence. She smiled for her daughter, laughed with her family, and worked tirelessly on the ranch, but behind every moment was the shadow of Ty. She knew her life had changed forever the day he left, and though she tried to accept it, her heart never let go. Now, in Season 19, that fragile world is turned upside down. The silence of Heartland is broken by the return of the man she once loved more than anything. Ty Borden doesn't just walk back into Amy's life. He crashes into it, carrying years of unanswered questions, untold stories, and a presence that reignites every wound Amy buried deep within herself. For Amy, his return feels like stepping into a storm. Every memory of love, every ounce of pain, and every quiet hope she once buried come rushing back, leaving her breathless. But Amy's struggle is more than just seeing Ty again. It's facing the truth of who she has become in his absence. She is no longer the woman who leaned on him for strength. She is a mother who raised a child alone, a rancher who carried responsibilities on her shoulders, and a woman who learned how to survive heartbreak. Ty's return does not erase those years of growth and struggle. Instead, it forces her to confront them. Can she truly welcome him back after building a life without him? Or will his presence reopen the scars she worked so hard to heal? The premiere of Season 19 makes it clear. This is not a simple reunion. It is a collision of past and present, of love and grief. Amy's world is shaken to its core because the man she thought she lost forever is suddenly here, flesh and blood, his eyes filled with both regret and love. But alongside that miracle lies a haunting question. Why now? Why did Ty stay away for so long? And what does his return mean for the family who mourned him for years? For Lindy, Ty's presence is a confusing gift. She grew up on stories, photos, and whispers of who her father was, but she never knew him. Now, standing in front of her, he is no longer just a story. He is real. The look on her face, the innocence in her questions, bring the most heart-wrenching moments of the season. For Amy, watching her daughter finally meet the father she always longed for is both beautiful and devastating. It is the moment she dreamed of, yet it cuts deep, because it reminds her of everything they lost. Heartland. Season 19 doesn't give easy answers. Instead, it forces Amy to walk through fire once again. Her love for Ty has never died, but grief turned it into something fragile, something she had to protect to survive. Now, that love is tested in ways she never imagined. Can she forgive him for the years he missed? Can she allow herself to trust him again without the fear that he will disappear once more? The opening of this season doesn't paint Ty's return as a fairy tale. It paints it as a reckoning. Every tear Amy sheds, every hesitation in her step, every glance filled with both love and pain reminds us that this is not a simple story of reunion. This is a story of what happens when the past refuses to stay buried and when love, no matter how powerful, collides with the reality of time, loss, and change. For Amy Fleming, Season 19 is the beginning of her hardest battle yet. Not against grief, but against hope. Because hope, as beautiful as it is, can be just as dangerous as heartbreak. And with Ty Borden back in her world, Amy must decide if she is strong enough to open her heart to him again, knowing that this time, the cost could be even higher. The shock of Ty's return doesn't fade quickly. In fact, the longer he stands, the heavier the silence grows. Amy's eyes are locked on him, her heart racing between joy and fury. For years, she begged for this moment in her prayers, but now that it's here, she doesn't know whether to fall into his arms or turn away. every second feels like an eternity as the weight of the past crashes down on both of them. For Amy, this isn't just about love. It's about survival. She remembers every sleepless night spent wondering where he was, every tear she hid from. Lindy, every moment she forced herself to be strong when all she wanted was to break down. Ty's sudden return doesn't erase that pain. If anything, it magnifies it. Because now she must ask the questions that never had answers. Why did he leave? Why didn't he come back sooner? And why should she trust him now? Her heart pounds, with emotions too tangled to name, but Ty's silence says as much as his words. His face carries the lines of years lost, his eyes heavy with guilt and sorrow. He doesn't rush to explain, because he knows no explanation will ever undo the pain Amy endured. Instead, his presence alone becomes a storm, a reminder that love and loss are never clean, never simple, and never without consequences. Lindy's reaction is the purest of all. She doesn't carry Amy's scars, nor Jack's doubts, nor Lou's fears. For her, this moment is simple. The man standing before her is her father, the person she has heard about all her life but never truly known. She stares at him with wide, curious eyes, her small voice trembling as she asks the question that breaks every heart watching. "Are you my dad?" Ty's knees buckle under the weight of that innocence. With tears streaming down his face, he whispers back, "Yes, sweetheart, I'm your dad." That moment is shattering because it is both healing and painful. For Amy, it feels like her daughter's childhood dream is finally answered, but also stolen from her at the same time. She thinks of the years Lindy grew up. Without him, her first steps, her first words, her nights of crying for comfort only Amy could give. Ty missed it all, and no matter how much love he gives now, he can never replace those lost years. Amy's eyes blur with tears, torn between wanting to protect her daughter and wanting to let her embrace this miracle. Jack, meanwhile, stands stiff and silent. His weathered face hides a storm of emotions. To him, Ty was more than family. He was the son he never had. Jack buried his grief deep when Ty left, telling himself that life had to go on, even if his heart broke every day. Seeing him now feels like a cruel trick of fate. Jack's body wants to rush forward, to embrace the boy he once guided, but his heart holds him back. He knows how fragile Amy is, how much Lindy has endured, and how dangerous it could be to believe too quickly. His voice, rough and unsteady, finally cuts through the silence. It can't be. It is not disbelief. It is pain, the kind that comes when the dead come back to life. Lou reacts differently. Unlike Amy's tears and Jack's silence, Lou meets the moment with suspicion. She has always been the practical one, the protector who keeps her family grounded. For her, Ty's return isn't just an emotional miracle. It's a disruption. Her mind races with questions faster than her heart can feel. She steps back, her voice sharp and filled with fear. "Where have you been all this time?" Those words pierce through the fragile moment like a knife. They are the questions everyone is afraid to ask, but the questions that cannot be ignored. Ty doesn't answer, not yet. His silence is heavy, his expression filled with regret. And that silence is more terrifying than any answer could be, because it suggests that his story is darker, more complicated than anyone is ready to hear. The family stands frozen, each person caught in their own storm of emotions. Amy with her heartbreak, Lindy with her innocence, Jack with his doubt, and Lou with her suspicion. And Ty, standing in the center of it all, feels the crushing weight of their stares. This is where the season begins to show its true heart. Ty's return is not a moment of pure joy. It is a test of love, of forgiveness, of trust. Heartland doesn't let the audience breathe easily. Instead, it holds us in that silence, forcing us to feel every ounce of pain and hope colliding together. We know Ty is back, but we don't know why. We know Amy's love for him never died, but we don't know if it can survive the truth. We know Lindy finally has her father, but we don't know if he will stay. The storm of Ty's return leaves one undeniable truth. Amy's world has changed forever. Her strength, her faith, her love, everything she has built over the years will be tested. And as the silence breaks, as questions begin to rise, one thing becomes clear. This is not the end of Amy's heartbreak. it is only the beginning. The news of Ty's return spreads like wildfire across Hudson, but Amy finds herself caught in the middle of conflicting emotions. On one hand, her heart races every time she sees him, as if the missing pieces of her soul have finally returned. On the other hand, she cannot ignore the quiet whispers that follow them everywhere, the questions, the doubts, and the rumors that grow louder with each passing day. People wonder why Ty disappeared in the first place, why he stayed away for so long, and most importantly, why he has chosen this exact moment to return. These doubts slowly begin to cloud Amy's mind, testing her trust in the man she once believed she knew better than anyone else. Ty, too, feels the weight of those unspoken questions. He longs to tell Amy everything, to pour out the truth of the battles he fought, the dangers he faced, and the choices that kept him away from her and their daughter. But the words never come easily. Every time he opens his mouth, silence grips him, and Amy's searching eyes only make it harder. He fears that revealing the truth might shatter the fragile bond they have just begun to rebuild. And so, he hides, behind small smiles and quiet gestures, trying to prove his love through actions rather than words. But Amy is not the same woman she once was. Over the years, she has learned to stand tall, to fight her battles alone, and to carry responsibilities she never imagined she would bear without Ty by her side. She cannot simply let go of the pain of his absence, nor can she silence the questions that echo in her mind late at night. Each unanswered question feels like a storm brewing inside her heart, threatening to undo the calm she has fought so hard to create. The tension between them begins to spill over into their daily lives. Small misunderstandings quickly grow into heated arguments. A word left unsaid or a glance misinterpreted turns into a wound that cuts deeper than either of them expects. Amy wonders if Ty's return is truly a blessing, or if it is the beginning of another heartbreak waiting to happen. The love they share is undeniable, yet the scars of the past keep rising between them like invisible walls. As the days unfold, Ty tries to reconnect with Lindy, their daughter, who looks at him with both curiosity and caution. For Lindy, Ty is both a stranger and a father, a man she has heard stories about but barely remembers. Their bond begins with awkward silences and hesitant conversations, but soon Lindy's innocent questions start breaking through Ty's walls. She asks him where he has been, why he left, and whether he will leave again. These questions pierce his heart, forcing him to confront the pain he has caused not only Amy but also their daughter. Meanwhile, Amy struggles to hold the pieces of her world together. Every time she looks at Ty, she feels a rush of memories, of love, of laughter, of promises made under the stars. Yet, those same memories remind her of what she lost when he walked away. She wonders if she can ever fully trust him again, or if the shadow of his disappearance will always linger between them. The more she tries to push these thoughts aside, the more they consume her, leaving her restless and torn. As the season deepens, it becomes clear that Ty's return is not simply a romantic reunion, it is a test of love, loyalty, and resilience. The past refuses to stay buried, and the truth, no matter how long it takes, is destined to surface. For Amy, the biggest question remains: will their love survive the weight of the truth, or will Ty's return turn her world upside down forever? The weight of the past grows heavier with each passing day, and Amy begins to feel as though she is living in two worlds at once. One where Ty has finally returned to her side, and another where the pain of his absence still lingers like an open wound. Every time she looks into his eyes, she sees both love and secrets, both comfort and distance. It is this unspoken tension that begins to tear at the fragile bond they are struggling to rebuild. Ty notices Amy's hesitation, the way she sometimes withdraws into silence, her mind drifting far away. He knows she is fighting an invisible battle between trust and doubt, but he cannot bring himself to give her the full truth. Fear holds him back. Fear that if he shares the darkness he endured, it will only push her further away. Instead, he tries to focus on small steps, rebuilding moments with Lindy, showing Amy through actions that he is here to stay. But the silence between them remains like a wall neither of them dares to break. This silence begins to affect the rest of the family as well. Jack, with his wisdom and quiet strength, senses the storm building in Amy's heart. He watches Ty, closely, weighing every word, every gesture, trying to decide if the man who once won Amy's heart can truly be trusted again. Lou, on the other hand, is more direct. She questions Ty openly, demanding answers that Amy cannot bring herself to ask. Her protectiveness of her sister makes her suspicious of Ty's sudden reappearance, and she fears Amy will be left shattered again if he disappears once more. In the midst of this emotional turmoil, Amy finds herself turning to the one place that has always grounded her: the horses. Working with them gives her peace, but even here she feels the changes in her own heart. The horses mirror her emotions, becoming restless under her touch, as if they too sense the storm raging within her. She realizes that unless she confronts the truth about Ty, both her life and her work will continue to spiral out of balance. For Ty, the greatest challenge lies in rebuilding his bond with Lindy. Every moment with her is both a joy and a reminder of the years he lost. He listens to her stories, laughs at her innocent jokes, and answers her endless questions. But deep down, he knows he cannot escape the truth she deserves to hear. She asks him one night with her small, trembling voice, "Daddy, why did you go away?" The question pierces his heart like a blade, leaving him speechless. In that silence, Amy sees the torment in his eyes, and it only deepens her own confusion. The pressure builds until it becomes unbearable. Amy knows she cannot keep living in this half-truth, pretending that everything is fine when her world feels like it is crumbling beneath her feet. She begins to demand answers from Ty, her voice filled with both love and frustration. She tells him that she cannot move forward without knowing why he left, why he stayed away, and why he chose to return now. Her words strike him harder than any wound he has faced before, because he knows she is right. Without the truth, their love will remain trapped in the shadows of doubt. Yet even as Amy presses for answers, Ty hesitates. He knows that what he has to reveal will not only shock her, but might also put her and Lindy in danger. His return was not a simple choice. It was a risk, a decision tied to forces far greater than either of them understands. The secrets he carries are not just about his absence. They are about survival, sacrifice, and battles that could still threaten everything they hold dear. And so, the question looms larger than ever. Can their love withstand the truth? Or will the truth destroy everything they are fighting to rebuild? Amy's world is on the edge of breaking, and the storm is only growing stronger. The answers are close, but the cost of uncovering them may turn her life upside down forever. The storm that has been building finally reaches its breaking point. Amy can no longer carry the weight of uncertainty in her heart, and Ty can no longer hide from the truth that threatens to tear them apart. One evening, under the dim glow of the barn lights, Amy confronts him with all the strength she has left. Her voice trembles, not with fear, but with the desperate need to know the answers that have haunted her since his return. She demands to hear the truth. Not fragments, not excuses, but everything. Ty stands before her, his face etched with pain, his eyes filled with memories he has tried so hard to bury. For a long moment, silence stretches between them, heavy and suffocating. Then, at last, he begins to speak. He tells her of the dangers he faced, the enemies he made, and the reasons he had to stay away. Every word is laced with regret, every confession a piece of the burden he has carried alone for far too long. He explains that leaving was never a choice of abandoning her, but a desperate attempt to protect her and Lindy from the shadows that followed him. Amy listens, her heart torn between anger and sorrow. Each revelation feels like a blow, yet beneath the pain lies a flicker of understanding. For the first time, she begins to see the depth of the struggle Ty endured, the sacrifices he made to keep them safe. But forgiveness does not come easily. The years of loneliness, the nights of unanswered prayers, the moments she watched Lindy grow without her father, all of these weigh heavily against the love she still feels for him. As Ty's words fill the barn, tears well in Amy's eyes. She realizes that her world has truly been turned upside down. The man she loves has returned, but not as the same person who once walked away. He is scarred, changed, and carrying secrets that have reshaped him forever. The question is not whether she still loves him, for that love runs too deep to be denied. The question is whether she can trust him again, whether she can build a future on the foundation of truth that has only just been revealed. Lindy, too, becomes part of this fragile reckoning. When Ty holds her in his arms, she looks at him with eyes filled with both innocence and wisdom beyond her years. Her presence becomes a reminder that the choices they make now will shape not only their own lives, but also the life of their daughter. Amy knows that whatever decision she makes will ripple through the family, changing everything,